from Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Lake Worth, Texas. Welcome in, everybody, to the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
Indeed. Welcome aboard.
And we we got a special guest with us today. Mr. Hoss Huggins is going to be with us.
He's special, all right. They let him out of the institution for a while, didn't they?
They did that. Yeah. They sure did. Yeah. And he'll be, I think we lost him. Nope, there we go.
We came him back up.
Hoss, you with us?
I am. I just made bail.
He just made bail.
Welcome aboard, big boy.
Well, for those of you that don't know it, we're talking today with Lanny Hoss Huggins, better known as Hoss Huggins, and
a legend in radio.
Yes, he is. He's been in radio. God, how long you been in radio and TV?
Well, the first one, actually, I was on a rock. They didn't have radios, but they listened to me on a rock.
You had a megaphone.
For a long time, yeah. I started when I was 14 years old in Paris, Texas, so wow. I've been doing it long enough to know how to do it better, but so far it's not working.
Hoss, you grew up in Paris, Texas, and you worked at the same radio station I started my radio career at. KPLT down there, and a lot of other guys came from Paris, Texas down there too, didn't they, that worked at KPLT?
Yeah, in fact, I was just talking to my friend Dwayne Allen of the Oak Ridge Boys, I think about a week ago, and he and I were laughing about the fact that they had named a bridge for him not too long ago, and he went down to be there for the dedication. And Joe Bonsall, who's his tenor singer, leaned over to me and he said, I think our bus is longer than that bridge.
We can never come back this way.
Kind of like trying to make that turn at the Sonic.
No kidding. Yeah. Wow, I forgot about those days.
Yes, sir.
There was two Kiss to the Sonic and Frank's Dairyland, all out there on the same strip in Paris.
Yep, they sure were. They sure were. Now, let's delve into your background a little bit.
You were what in radio? You broadcasted 50 plus years or so, didn't you?
Yeah, actually I started about 58.
Yeah.
And I worked my way through college at a radio station and decided I needed a little TV under my belt, and I came down here and worked for Channel 7 for a while with Barry Hansen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Big Barry.
Yeah. Big Barry.
And then somehow or another, I was working part-time at a radio station, KC music station, about 67. And
that was AM, wasn't it?
They decided that I would be a good program director, and boy, were they wrong. But anyway, I did the morning show, and I was there for about 10 years. The next thing I know, Rick Reynolds from KROZ called me up and asked if I'd consider coming over there, and I said, well, there's a way to get me over there. And
show me the money. Yeah.
he did the right thing, and I was there till 86, I guess.
Yeah. And
Phil Hurley I remember Phil Hurley built the new NBC television station.
Right.
And my degree was in radio TV.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I ended up being the senior account executive at KETK for about 19, 20 years, something like that.
Mm-mm.
And Phil had left in the meantime, went out up north, and then he came back and put the new CBS station on. And I met him at a restaurant one day at lunch. He said, you never did sign that non-compete clause, did you? I said, heck no, I'm not going to. He said, good. Why don't you come see me? I said, how about this afternoon? So 2 hours later, I stick my head around the door. In his office, he says, you don't even have to sit down. What's it going to take to get you? I said, this is the best job interview I think I've ever been on.
In other words, get your butt to work, huh?
But I was with CBS Television as senior account executive until I believe I know that I retired in 2010.
Yeah.
But I stayed on for a couple of years just to handle a few accounts. But for the most part, I retired in 2010.
I used to piss the morning crew off that I worked with at Kicks there in Longview because I listened to your show all the time back then. Ken Curtis goes, "Man, you listen to the wrong radio station." I said, "These guys are crazy, man."
I tell you what, you and Joel Hardy, y'all would keep everybody on their toes at K-Rose. I'm telling you.
We got a lot. The first thing we heard every morning over the intercom as we got off the air, we'd sign off and walk out the door, and you hear Rick Reynolds over the intercom.
Yeah.
Hoss, Hardy, in the office.
Get in here. I used to get a lot of that off my Sunday morning show too. You remember Ed Curley, don't you? That owned Kicks.
Oh yeah.
He told me, he goes, and you remember how short and pot-bellied he was. And he talked kind of like this. He goes, "JT, you're the only GD gospel shock jock I've ever known of," because I did the Positive Country show. He said, "You just."
I ran across a guy the other day that said he listened to us all the time, and he knew more about what we had done than I remembered.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought he was a stalker or something there for a second. But
you can never tell, brother.
He said that morning that y'all found that snake in the commode, and y'all talked about it all morning. I said, well, we really did find a snake in the commode that morning. When we came in, we were making jokes and talking about it all morning long, and then about 7:20, when we think we got the most most listeners, I said to Hardy, I said, "You know, Joel, I just realized what that snake was doing in that commode." He said, "What?" I said, "It was looking for a pot to hiss in."
I thought you were going to say there weren't no snakes.
I knew you cut me off if I did that.
I had the great fortune of working with Hoss and Hardy about the last year and a half.
Oh yeah, that was fun. We had a good time at.
Yeah,
you were a program director, I think.
Yes, it was, and of course that's back when.
I thought you fired me once or twice.
No, I almost fired Joel twice.
You know how many times I got fired by Ken Curtis? Jesus
Well, look how many
Christ,
times I had to get up in the morning and come take his place when he couldn't make it in.
I remember those days.
He called me, and it'd be Hoss and a bottle of Pepto. Do the Hoss and Hardy show that morning. You know?
Yeah, Doc Holliday. That's what got me my job. Doc Holliday would still be drunk when the sun would come up, and I'd have to come in and sub for him. That's how I got started at Kicks part time. That and weekends.
Hardy's great. He's a great radio man. He's fabulous.
You know, some of the pictures.
Y'all had a hell of a show, man.
Some of the pictures we're showing in the background, Hoss, is of you and Joel and some of your kids. Let's talk about your kids a little bit. A lot of people that don't know Hoss, he has got two very talented sons, Blake and Brett, and Karen and
I can't even afford to hire them anymore.
Well, Karen and I were very fortunate because we had a little K-Rose band when we all worked together, and you guys played at our wedding.
Really?
It was at the Rose Garden. I remember that very well. The kids were,
Tyler
what were
Rose
they,
Garden,
12, 13,
Man,
14 years old, something like that?
They couldn't be much older than that.
Yeah,
I'm
like
telling
that.
you. But I'm telling you, these kids
funny.
can play. You raised them right, Hoss, I'll tell you that, bro.
Brainwashed them really.
They both are gainfully employed right now. Brett is chief managing engineer for, what is that, Univision?
Really?
Univision, I think is what he said.
Univision, yeah.
Yeah.
He must speak the Spanish fluently.
He says he's got 50 radio stations and 20 television stations.
Wow.
All over the United States that he says Greg's over.
Good.
Wow.
Good for him.
Owns a few separately on his own, but he's got a lot to. And Blake, of course, Blake could hardly get a job. He was actually I told somebody he was a senior. I think he's a corporate vice president for CEC Entertainment, which doesn't mean anything except CEC is Chuck E. Cheese. And,
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. BP for Chuck. So, and they both get to actually play a little music occasionally. Brett finally got so he can take off enough to play with the band a couple times down in San Antonio.
Does he have to wear a mouse costume while he's doing it, though?
Yeah, I told him, I asked him when he told me he was with Chuck E. Cheese if one day he had to wear the mouse suit, you know. He didn't smile very much on that one.
Yeah, he didn't. Dad, that's not too funny.
Well, Hoss, over the years, you've been associated with some great artists. I know your band, when you were growing up, played with some pretty good folks. Yesterday or Wednesday, we had Thomas Gabriel, who is the grandson of Johnny Cash.
Oh, I heard you got a story about old Johnny Cash.
The recording you sent me, man, he's great.
Man, he is really good.
What a great guy too.
Yeah, he's a super guy. And I was telling JT or Pappy the other day, we were talking about you and I talking on the phone to get this set up, and you was telling me a story about Johnny Cash. Can you remember what you said?
Yeah, he told me to get out of his parking space.
Get out of his
I actually introduced him at the Caldwell Auditorium when he and his band were here, and it was so funny. It's an anniversary tour, and you know when he first came here was, I don't know, 50 years ago, when it was. He said, Hoss, when we came here the first time, we were over at the fairgrounds. He said there was the big bass strapped up on top, and there was Luther's guitar, my guitar, and the PA system all in the trunk of the Cadillac. There were just three of us. It was Johnny Cash and the C2.
Yeah.
And he said, we carried it in ourselves. You know, we flipped the switches, did that. And he said, look out there. So we're standing at the back of Caldwell Auditorium. And he said, there's 6 guys out there unloading 2 semi-trucks. I've got the Carter family. Marty Stewart was married to one of his daughters at that time.
That's right.
So Marty was there. He's got the horn players that played da-da-da-da-da-da-da on Ring of Fire. And of course, all Carter. And a bigger band, he got piano players and all kinds of musicians, drummers and stuff. And he said, you know, I'm handling a lot more money, but I'm not sure I'm really making anymore.
Yeah,
that was back then.
That stands
but
true even
so
today.
Good.
Yeah.
You know, you never think about. You thought Johnny Cash was always going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And truth is that you know you never miss somebody till they're gone. But what a great artist and what an unbelievable person he was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you know, we talked to Thomas yesterday, and he was telling us how fond he was of his grandfather, and his latest video.
Yeah, they were pretty thick.
Yeah. His latest video has got him starting the video and ending the video at Johnny and June Carter Cash's gravesite.
You haven't seen him. You haven't seen Hoss video.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to watch this video. We'll get Jack to send it to you, brother.
Yeah. Well,
I'd like to see that.
You'll be deeply touched.
Old Hickory Lake, they lived up there, and that's where Chris Christopherson landed that helicopter.
That's right.
When he brought Johnny that tape of Sunday Morning Coming Down.
Yeah, I heard a little something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was, you know, and he used to, you know, when Johnny was in television, I can't even remember the name, Johnny Cash Hour or something.
the Johnny
like
Cash
Yeah.
Show. Yeah.
yeah, and he had
Nature show, yeah.
and he had his grandson, his firstborn grandson, who is Thomas Gabriel, on the show, and they would sing on the Old Rugged Cross or something, you know. I mean, he'd always have his grandson sing a song with him, then shoo him off, and he'd do a show. And he remembers that. Yeah.
They always did it at Christmas too. A lot of times they have the whole family there at Christmas time.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know John Carter Cash, who's his other son, and I'm a little bit more familiar with him. But man, Mr. Gabriel's got his shoes on right, man. He can do it.
That boy, I mean, you close your eyes, it'll make all the hair on your ears stick straight out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he's doing it his way. You know, and we discussed that with him as well. He's not riding on his grandpa's shirt tail or anything. I mean, even though he sounds just like him, but he is doing it his way.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Roseanne did it on her own, and
That's
And
right,
it's
she
kind of
did.
impressive when they do it like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
she
I
did.
mean, and that whole Cash family's paid their dues to get to where they are today. I mean, just like Grandpa Johnny.
Right.
I mean, he paid his dues in a big way from mistakes he'd made and so forth. So, and we went over that. You'll need to watch that show. Let me ask you a question. Your introduction into the Texas Broadcasters Hall of Fame in 2011 was a tremendous honor for you, wasn't it?
It meant a lot to me. I'm not sure, how I got there, but I grabbed that award, ran out the door,
Ran like hell, huh?
changed their mind.
Yeah, but the guy that
I went out to
introduced you,
Houston
though.
and got him, and I got to look at it a little bit, and there's Wolfman Jack is in there.
Oh, yeah.
Willie Nelson's in there because Willie was a DJ down in Austin for a
That's
while.
true.
I forgot that.
Waylon Jennings didn't make it, though, did
Walter
he?
Cronkite is
Yeah.
in there, and George Carlin.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, I don't have any business being in there, but boy,
Yeah,
that's
you
a
do.
good company.
Yeah, you do. You're in good company. I mean, you earned it. I mean, you was a hell of a broadcaster. The guy that introduced you, though, was an idol of yours, right?
I'm sorry. Well, yeah, that was wasn't that
Ron Chapman.
KVIL? Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron Chapman.
Yeah.
He was, of course, he was on KLIF in the early years.
Yeah. Yeah, I met Ron at a radio conference, which is the only time I've ever seen you face to face. But you know how those conferences go. You probably had more to drink that day than I did. I don't know.
He was pretty sharp. He was really pretty sharp.
Yeah, Ron, great guy too. He's a real nice guy.
I look back on it now, and I really, I got to meet Haggard in his early years. Interviewed him. I used to get stuff every Christmas from Buck Owens.
Really?
Buck sent me tacos. I've still got a red, white, and blue guitar from Buck, and I got, of course, the Woodman Brothers, and got to work with Loretta Lynn and
Wow.
Dolly, and Porter.
And you're still playing, aren't you? I mean, you still make appearances and.
Yeah, I do some things. I kind of pick and choose them a little bit.
pick
In
and
fact,
green,
back in
yeah.
August, we're playing for Congressman Louis Gohmert's annual barbecue
Really?
out here at Bushman's, and we play that every year. I said, Louis, we've done this about 6 or 8 times, haven't we? He said, 11.
No, 11. Yeah.
So we got another one scheduled in August.
It don't pay worth a damn, but the tips are sure
by the
good.
wayside.
Yeah, it doesn't pay worth a flip, but the tips are sure enough good. Hey, typical musician stuff.
So let's talk about your brothers growing up. Y'all put together a great little band, and y'all performed with some pretty big stars at that time, didn't you?
My brothers Mickey, Gary, and I, and then we had a buddy that played bass with us, and I played rhythm guitar and harmonica, did most singing, and kind of fronted the band. But Gary is a whale of a guitar player.
Yes, he is.
I can't imagine. I can't even think of anybody that's better. And Mickey plays what they call East Texas kick rear end drums
Yeah.
that run you right up the wall.
We know what that
You don't
means,
ever
yeah.
have to worry about where the beat is because it's right up your backside,
There you go.
Thank goodness for those guys. We cut our first record in October of '64. We did that Susie Q version of Susie Q. And
Susie Q.
that
yeah.
thing, and then also the flip side of it was it was kind of funny. A bunch of boys from Paris, Texas, doing a surf song, but we played one called Mr. Moto.
Mr. Moto.
We'd never seen a beach at that point, but
Sound like a commercial jingle.
Mr. Moto, and it actually sounds pretty surfy. And that stuff was pretty hot back then.
Yeah.
But we got to work with Johnny Horton.
Wow.
Even String Bean from the
Oh yeah.
Old string
Rock
bean.
show.
Yeah.
And Smiley Burnett used to be the comedian for Gene Autry and Roy Acuff. I mean, we got to be on the show
Roy Acuff,
with
wow.
Roy Acuff. And
How
I
cool
told
is
you,
that? Yeah.
it's stuff like that. You think back on it and say, man, I really should soak more of that up.
Oh yeah.
You never realize what it really means until after you're up and gone from it.
Absolutely. Until you look back on it. Well, where did you guys record when you cut your first record?
Oh, we recorded over at the Summer Studio in Dallas.
Yeah.
And did one of the early things where I doubled my voice
Yeah.
on it, and then we went back through and did the hand clapping
Yeah.
But and we thought you were supposed to be ready to record when you got there. So it only took us 3 tries to get the song, and I think they kept the second one.
Wow.
So we were out of there in about an hour.
Had plenty of time to go play somewhere.
Went and got some barbecue, you know.
You bet.
Now, I was real lucky here at we did the "I Don't Look Good Naked Anymore" song that I found that got me a few more miles down the road.
That's a funny
And what was
song.
really funny about that is that Peter Frampton's drummer, Dan Wojciechowski, played drums on that.
Really?
On the station, yeah. And I looked up the other night, and my friend Milo Deering was playing steel guitar with Don from the Eagles.
Yeah.
Don Henley.
I think
Yeah,
he did the last tour.
Yeah, he's a
with the Eagles.
he's a
And
Pittsburgh
Milo
boy.
played steel guitar, dobro,
Yeah.
a little fiddle, and man, I don't know what all he played
Wow.
on our CD.
Yeah,
So
Don.
my son played guitar on it as well, and then of course my band. But I'll get y'all a copy of that thing.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You can take it down to Mexico and make a tortilla out of it.
Yep.
That's a thought.
Uh,
Just send permission along with it, and we'll blow it out on the show for you, man. That's the way we roll.
Hans, a little known fact that people don't know about you is that you have a heck of a guitar collection.
Yeah, I've given most of them away almost because every year I give my sons one for their birthday and one for one for Christmas. So I'm giving 4 collectible guitars away, and I've been doing that for a number of years. But I had Tex Ritter's old guitar.
Oh, wow.
My buddy Spud Goodall played guitar from Earl Haggard and Willie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And Spud passed that on to me when he went to that great gig in the sky.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I passed that on to one of my sons. My old D18 Martin that I got when I was in 1957.
Yeah, that's and it was
a
probably
56 Martin,
yeah, it's probably a little
and I
older than
ended
that.
up
Then.
giving that to one of my sons. So, yeah, I had quite a few collectible guitars. I had Willie Nelson's backup guitar.
Oh,
And of course, he uses trigger most of the time.
right.
But but every once in a while, trigger falls to the wayside,
Yeah.
and they have to work on it a little bit. So actually, I had the one that Chet Atkins presented to Willie one night on Austin City Limits, and Willie used it on one video and a couple other things. I don't know, but I had that guitar for a long, long time, and somebody finally talked me out of it.
Oh man,
Wow.
that's
Yeah,
Chuck
you
know
Gold
how
right
to talk me
there.
out of it. So.
Yeah.
If you have an extra Stratocaster that you would like to pass along, would you send it up here to me, Hoss?
I'm kind of partial to that hummingbird you got sitting on your knee that I saw a picture of.
Yeah, I do have a J200. That's
I
that
know you do.
that big blonde J200. Yeah.
Yep. Those
My son,
good players
this is
right
something
there.
we didn't even know what this thing was. I took it on a trade-in from an amplifier, and it was underneath our couch for a long time. Brent got it out, put it together, and it turned out to be a 1952 Telecaster.
Good.
Wow.
Lord. Now that's worth some money.
We,
Buddy.
we looked it up, and it's worth $47,000, and we didn't know it. I
Boom.
traded the $75 amplifier for it.
Good Lord.
Wow.
Hey, Hans, let's talk about your relationship with Dwayne Allen. He was your best buddy up at Paris Junior College, wasn't he?
Yeah, until he called me out with his girlfriend. No, actually, Dwayne actually did date my wife a couple of times. They went out on coke dates long before my wife and I got to know each other. But Dwayne was from Taylortown, Texas, which is just a skip and a jump about a mile and a half
About a rock throw,
from Paris.
Yeah.
But I knew Dwayne from the old days, and I found a picture of him and 2 other guys with their Future Farmers of America jackets on,
FFA.
standing behind me on the stage at Paris Junior College.
How fun.
And I'm playing guitar, and they're backing me up.
That's fun.
And
I think I've seen that
Dwayne
picture.
the other day. He said, "I have never seen that. I can't believe you found that."
And once again, for those of you out there that is not aware who Dwayne Allen is, he sings with the Oak Ridge Boys.
He actually owns the Oak Ridge Boys now.
Oh, does he?
He bought the rights to the Oak Ridge Boys.
Right.
And,
He must have
he is
needed a
an
tax
owner.
write-off, you know.
They're still performing together, aren't they, Hoss?
They are. They do a lot of Vegas type stuff, and not near as many as they used to.
Yeah.
But I remember when y'all come back to Saloon first came out, and they were switching from strictly gospel to doing country music. They came to town for a show, and the Dwayne called, and the boys and I went out to. I think they were at the Oil Palace, and we went out there and had barbecue with them. My two kids couldn't even believe it that I even knew them. But we walked in, we're just sitting there arm in arm having barbecue with the Oak Ridge Boys. It was really kind of a cool thing. But Dwayne's always been that way. Fame has never really changed him.
Well, that's great. He seems like a great guy. I never had a chance to meet him personally, but man, have I heard the stories, you know.
Those boys can
He called me up one day. I'll tell you real quick. He called me up one day and said, Hoss, this is Dwayne. He's talking about that slow. And he spells Dwayne, D-U. I'm like, what did you do? And he said, I just wanted you to leave me that D18 Martin guitar that I used to borrow from you when I played with your brothers in Paris. And I said, I already gave that to Blake. He said, well, dang, I'll talk to you later.
That's hysterical. Hoss, man, we just can't thank you enough to take for taking time out of your schedule to visit with us. I know our audience out there, they got to know you a little bit, and if you ever get a chance to meet Hoss Huggins, do it.
Run, Forrest, run.
Take the next left and get on.
That's right, and boogie down.
It is me again, Margaret.
It was an honor talking to you, Hoss. Yeah. It was my honor in talking to you.
Man, you guys are great. I've listened to your show. I haven't got to listen every time, but I've listened to it several times, and you got it going on. So I got the feeling you got a lot of viewers, listeners, whatever you call them now.
We're working on it, all three of them.
We sure are. Hoss, my friend, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself and be safe, okay?
Good hearing your voice again, brother.
All right.
As they say down at the state hospital, I must be off.
I must be off. Later. Well, come see us, big boy.
Okay.
Good
talk to y'all.
All right, Hoss, take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Boy, what a great guy he is. I tell you, he is such a great guy.
What a hoot.
And he's got tons of stories that he hasn't even gotten to.
No, probably half of them you can't tell.
Hoss Huggins, what a great guy. Radio legend here in the state of Texas.
A legend in our mind, too. Not just his own, but ours as well. So.
And the people he knows, the people he's performed with and met is absolutely amazing.
You know, that's what I loved about being in radio. I mean, you meet a lot of influential people, you know. I mean,
sure do.
And some that aren't influential now, but just like he said, looking back, you know, you should have seized the moment because they're just, you know, out of this world.
Well, let's take a second and take a look at some of the viewer comments quick before we wrap it up that they have written to us.
All right, sir.
Thomas Griffin said our show with Thomas Gabriel was kick-ass. He said after watching the show, he watched his videos on YouTube and was blown away. Mm-hmm. He said, let him know when he is booked in the North Texas area.
You
and
can
we
count
will.
on that. Yeah, we'll let the world know once he comes down. And there again, I think Donna Sue, his manager, has got him some kind of a Texas tour put together. So but we'll keep you posted on that for sure. More feedback on Wednesday's show with Thomas Gabriel. Mindy Hudson said whoop, And a great interview. And Belinda Tatum said she loves Thomas Gabriel. Well,
Yep.
we do too.
We do too.
What a hell of a nice guy he is. Just a cool guy.
Pete Asher said our show on defunding police departments just goes to show you how stupid the Democratic Party has become.
Yeah.
All the mayors and governors who are calling for defunding police departments in their cities and states are all Democrats. It's not only asinine, but it is downright dangerous to the average citizen.
Well, and Trump is promising that day is not going to happen as long as he's got control over it anyway.
Yep.
So we shall see.
Yep.
Paul O'Brien asked, I guess Seattle's governing body is to blame for making police back away and letting protesters take over city buildings and the police station. He said, if the protesters want to play dirty, let the cops and National Guard play dirty in return. It's out of control. But if that was to happen, Paul, you better go hide in the cellar, buddy, because crap gonna get real.
Gonna get real. I just say put a ring around them with the National Guard, and don't let any food go in. Don't let anybody come out. Cut off all the utilities and just let them protest all they want to.
I'll say make a big perforation and push their asses off in the ocean out there, along with California and everywhere else. So.
Sherry Franick said no to defunding police departments. She says humans can't act right without police intervention. Like we can govern our own actions. Obviously not.
Well, I mean, we don't know how to act when we are protected by them. So,
That's true.
I'm not even going to comment any further about it because I'll probably get in trouble. Angela Rita said on Twitter, to the secret of successful marriage is to be honest with your spouse, share their passions, and overlook their shortcomings. Well, that works kind of both ways, I do believe.
It do.
So,
it sure does.
As long as you can have that happen, you got a happy marriage.
Yep.
So.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you have a comment or a topic for a subject that you'd like us to talk about, just send us an email to grandpaandpappy@gmail.com.
Absolutely. Or you can hit us up directly on our website, which it supports several platforms, Twitter,
Instagram,
Fiddly-dee and Fiddly-da.
That's it.
And that would be www.grandpa, the letter N, Pappy, grandpaandpappy.com. Hit the big red button, subscribe while you're there. Give me a thumbs up and Grandpa a thumbs down, and that'll give us something to talk about.
Right there. There's the red
like
button.
Like magic, it just suddenly appeared. But
the magic of special care.
And subscribe to the YouTube page, because we do work by numbers. It's easy. Just hit the big red button, enter a password, and you're there. You can see our current show. It's always up on the website, or any of the previous shows that we've done.
Yep.
So we'd love having you on.
Quick things before we leave. Pardon me. Thank you for the pictures we're getting in on your fathers for our special Father's Day show next Friday.
Yeah.
Go ahead and send those in to us.
And I'm sure Special K is going to put the touch on a montage.
I'm sure she will.
I'll bring a fresh box of Kleenex.
There you go. First 37 pictures will be featured on the show. Let us know what your dad's name is. And if you have anything to say about him, please let us know.
And I've sent 32 of those 37 pictures, so y'all better hurry up.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I only sent 30.
We need your help on Monday's program. We're going to ask you to give us your opinion and your comment. Does your employer keep you from speaking your mind on topics of today?
Mine doesn't.
You're retired. So, doesn't matter.
Couldn't sneak in. Well, actually,
We'd really like to have your opinion on that.
Some
companies will not let their employees speak out.
Well, a lot of people, get the big breaches and think they own you because they're paying you money. So.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. We enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you back on Monday. Until then. Have a great weekend.
Take care of one another. Know that we love you right here at Grandpa and Pappy.
God bless, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.